let him give a little bit of a statement on how his day went, and then we'll open up the questions.
So nice to see y'all again, Nick Bolton. I feel like I had a pretty good day, a little bit. Wish I had a little bit better day in terms of pro agility and stuff like that. But overall, I feel good being back in Columbia, being around these guys, compete one more time. It's been a lifetime experience being here. From that, I guess I'll open up for questions.
First up, Herbie Teal, Kansas City Star. Go ahead.
Hey, Nick, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm well, thanks. You were one of 300-plus players invited to the Combine in Indianapolis, and obviously it didn't happen. But what do you think is your biggest regret of not being able to compete and showcase against the other elite college athletes heading for the draft?
Yeah, so being there with other linebackers, competing with those guys, they push you to be better. Just being the only linebacker out there, we don't know how you measure up until the day's over with. So just knowing being out there with those guys, competing with those guys, and everybody making each other better, that's kind of one of the things I wish I would have if I had the Combine.
Griffin, Floyd, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Hey, Nick, I've got a couple quick questions for you. First of all, how did your 40 go?
It was pretty good. I ran sub 4.6. Probably should try to get 4.55. But other than that, I feel like it was pretty good. I ran faster than a lot of people anticipated me. So I feel like that was a positive.
Awesome. And then you met with Steelers inside linebackers coach, Jerry Olszewski. Can you tell me a little bit about that meeting and how that workout went?
Yeah, so I just met with him. I had a Zoom call with the Steelers this week. I didn't know he was going to be my linebacker coach until today. He was actually on the meeting. I never really showed his face until I seen him today. So I just kind of met with him, talked to him, kind of talked what he felt like was a positive for me, things I need to work on, something like that. So it was just a great experience being there. He helped me get a little better today.
Awesome. Thank you and good luck.
No problem. Thank you.
Dave Batter, St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Hey, Nick, during this process, is there any part of your game that any perceptions that you're trying to prove that are either wrong or just point things out that maybe people don't know about you as far as being a prospect in the NFL?
Yeah, a lot of people thought I was slower than what I really am. So kind of running, testing on 40 pretty good today. Was a positive for me. A common theme is kind of like zone drops, getting the correct depth and stuff like that. That's more so of how we played it versus how the NFL plays it. So just different styles, different preferences, just got different things, varies with scheme and stuff like that. So just cleaning that stuff up, that's kind of been a common theme. Also just working on getting a little bit better in every aspect to kind of be where I want to be. That's kind of what I've learned. It's been in this process. It's all about trying to get a little bit better in everything. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do.
Gabe DeArmond, Park Zoo.
Yeah, Nick, obviously the numbers in the film are going to kind of speak for themselves. I'm curious, when you go through days like today, what are the questions you feel like you have to answer for scouts at the next level?
Necessarily, I don't have any really questions I'm trying to answer. More so trying to prove myself right. That's kind of been a common theme I had. I feel like I can play in the NFL and be a high caliber player. So it's more so proving myself right every day. I believe in myself. I'm trying to get myself in the best situations possible to succeed. And that's what I've been trying to do on a daily basis.
If I can get a quick follow-up, a lot of the places out there have you as a guy that could go in the first round. Does that matter to you? Hey, being a first-round pick versus just getting drafted and getting a shot?
It'll be a great experience to be a first-round pick. But at the end of the day, once you go in, put the logo on your helmet, nobody really cares where you're picked. It's about production at that point. So just being first round, being seventh round doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to terms of being on the field and being effective. So I'm just trying to give myself a chance to compete and play early if I have an opportunity to do so.
Andrew Kaufman, KMIC.
Hey, Nick, I'm curious, which teams have you heard from so far in this process?
I've talked to numerous teams, nearly all of them, probably about 3 or 4 I've had conversations with. So most of them have interested themselves, talked, Zoomed with 3/4 of the teams in the National Football League. So just everybody really.
Eric Blum, Columbia Tribune.
Hey, Nick, because of kind of where your draft stock was headed into the season, it was thought this would be your final year playing for Mizzou. It was, and even, I think even Coach Walters told us at one point you would have been crazy not to, try the pro waters. Was there a moment in your head where you kind of decided, okay, now's the right time to try the NFL?
Yeah, when the season was over with, kind of where I tried to shift my focus to that. Prior to that, it's about winning. That's what my mindset's always been. Trying to give my team the best chance to win. So I really didn't think about the NFL until after that was over with. I played against Mississippi State. I had a conversation with Coach Drink, Coach Walters, Coach DJ. And then after that, I had a conversation with my mom and my dad. And they all feel like I was in a position to do so. So I went ahead and tested the waters then.
So you'd say it was probably an easy decision once you got the focus on there. Is like, okay, this is something I got to do.
Yes, sir.
Herbie, Kansas City Star.
And just two quick questions for you. Just also to follow up on what Gabe asked you about what round does it matter to you, and you said it didn't. But how do you think you will react, and how do you think your family will react if and when you hear your name called out on TV?
Yeah, it's gonna be one lifetime experience. It's gonna be a lot of raw emotions. Just because I never thought in a million years I could be in this position until really now. So it's gonna be a bunch of raw emotions for my family. Just getting to where we get to today just shows the determination and grit that it took to get there. So it's gonna be just a lot of raw emotions. I don't know what those are gonna be, but when they do, they're just gonna be a raw and as genuine as they get.
You mentioned also you spoke to a lot of teams. I have to ask this as the obligatory question because I covered the Chiefs. Are the Chiefs one of the teams you've talked to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Alexander from the Steelers Depot, go ahead.
Hey, Nick, just to follow up the earlier question, you said you talked to the Steelers coaches and they were giving you some feedback. What specific feedback were they giving you? And just, do you know anything about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers in general? What do you know about those guys?
Yeah, so I actually Zoomed with Mike Tomlin, the GM. So I talked to those guys for about 30, 40 minutes on a Zoom call early last week. So I kind of got a basic background on those guys. The biggest advice for him was just stop being so hard on myself. It's kind of the thing I took for the day. I'm my biggest critic, and it kind of shows. I live off my facial expressions and emotions, and so I just trying to clean that part up. Stop being so hard on myself, and just have fun when I'm out there.
Jacob Infante.
Hey Nick, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Doing good. When watching your tape over these past few months, and watching you on the field, two things in particular that stand out are your athleticism and then your instincts and ability to process quickly. So given those two things in mind, talking with NFL teams, have they been projecting you more as a Mike linebacker? Do they want you to kick inside there? Do they view you as an outside, whether that's a weak side or strong side?
More teams see me as a Mike backer, but I try to consider myself as a linebacker. So whatever one they get the opportunity to play in, about the opportunity to call plays with the green dot, I'll let them do so. But most teams project me as a Mike backer. To answer your question.
Yeah, for sure. And quick follow-up here. You mentioned that you've been in contact with most of the teams around the league. Just curious, are the Chicago Bears one of those teams that you've had the opportunity to talk to?
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest.
Hey, Nick, thanks for the time. When you talk to NFL coaches and scouts, they always talk about wanting players who really, truly love the game. Curious, what is it about football that you love, and where does that love come from? Where did you really get, excited about the game of football?
Yeah, so I got excited from the game of football at a very young age. My dad played football. I played linebacker, defensive end at Louisiana Tech, so it's kind of been running through my blood to play this position. And the best thing I love about football is the physicality aspect of it. It's kind of where I like to do. I like to hit, I like to run, I like to be physical. So that's kind of where I really found love in the game of football. And then just my dad being there, helping me out throughout the way, giving me tips and reminders, just helping me out, of all helped me get to this point.
Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Nick, actually wanted to ask you about your family. What do you want teams to know about the inspiration that your family's had on you, not just your dad, but your mom and sister, because, these teams obviously want to get to know you as a guy. Has it come up, and what do you kind of want them to know?
Yeah, so just know I'm a family guy. Not necessarily need a simple card of what I've been through in my life. It's kind of just everybody's been through certain stuff. It's about how you react and how you persevere through it. So not necessarily not wanting to know a certain thing about my family. Just knowing I'm a family guy. That's kind of where I come from. A big family. Everybody got mutual respect for everybody in my household. So just to know I'm a family guy. That's kind of really what I really want to know.
Griffin, Floyd.
Hey, can you tell me a little bit about how you match up against tight ends or running backs in coverage, if you prefer man or zone, things like that?
Whatever the defense is called, I like doing both. I kind of got my feet wet in college or moved up the depth chart because I could play man to man. We put a lot more zone this year. I didn't play that much man on tight ends or running backs this season, just because of how our scheme was constructed. So I can do either or. I like play man to man coverage. We play primarily zone this year.